What does community mean to you? Community is basically a group of people with a shared connections that binds them together.
Community has changed and affected me.
People actually have an identity as a fan of something.
So whatever weird thing you're into, you can, type in weird website or type in weird Facebook group and find a million other people who are interested in the same thing.
In today's digital economy, trust is the new currency. If you're a coach, creator, or consultant, chances are your biggest challenge isn't traffic or reach, it's trust. People are skeptical, they're overloaded with content, and they've been burned before. Chances are you've been burned before. I've been burned before. Community is how you nurture cold leads into warm conversations, and warm conversations into paying clients. They give people a space to be seen, heard, and supported, and when that happens, sales happen naturally. That's why a community isn't just a good idea, it's a business advantage. Communities build trust at scale. The goal is to turn a cold lead, someone who doesn't know who you are, into somebody who's willing to invest into whatever your program is. By the end of this course, you will not only have a fully functional community, the truth is, guys, in this new age, attention is super expensive, but connection, that's priceless. And when done right, your community becomes more than a group. It's going to become your funnel, your fulfillment, and your proof all at once. Lesson 1.1. Why should you build a community? In today's digital economy, trust is the new currency. If you're a coach, creator, or consultant, chances are your biggest challenge isn't traffic or reach, it's trust. People are skeptical, they're overloaded with content, and they've been burned before. Chances are you've been burned before. I've been burned before. So what we need is not another quick reach or quick ad tweak. We need a way to scale trust sustainably. That's why a community isn't just a good idea, it's a business advantage. Communities build trust at scale. They give people a space to be seen, heard, and supported, and when that happens, sales happen naturally. Community is how you nurture cold leads into warm conversations, and warm conversations into paying clients. Remember, guys, the goal is to turn a cold lead, someone who doesn't know who you are, into somebody who's willing to invest into whatever your program is. Communities are also one of the few marketing strategies where the longer someone stays in your world, the more valuable they become, not just to you, but to other members as well. The truth is, guys, in this new age, attention is super expensive, but connection, that's priceless. And when done right, your community becomes more than a group. It's going to become your funnel, your fulfillment, and your proof all at once. Here's the thing. You are early. More and more people are going to be building and joining communities, looking to build real and genuine connections here in the future. So if you're creating a community right now, you have a small window to become a market leader in your space. Now, I want you guys to think about the idea of market leadership. In every industry, there are market leaders, whether you take it for airlines or for musicians or for even fast food brands, it doesn't matter. There are market leaders, and they all stem from the 80-20 principle. Now, what does the 80-20 principle mean? It means the top 20% of a market usually make 80% of the revenue. So if you're watching this right now, I want to say my goal is for you to be a market leader in whatever industry that you're in. And a part of that is creating a community. Now, there's a few different ways that you can become a market leader. One, you can actually have a differentiated offer or a differentiated product, right? If you have the best product in the market, then you're going to be a market leader. Two, you have the best marketing in a market, right? If you can outmarket your competition with ads or with content, then everyone's going to want to join your community. And three, to be a market leader, you just got to be one of the first to market. And guys, right now, like I said, we are in the very entry phases of online communities. So if you're starting right now, you're in a good space. We just got to go hard and we got to make it happen. And here are your action steps for this lesson. I want you to write down 3 ways your community can build trust, shorten your sales cycle, or increase your long-term impact. Lesson 1.2. What should you build a community about? Let's simplify something most people overthink. Your community only needs to live under one of the big 3. The big 3 are health, wealth, and relationships. Every successful community you've seen, it fits in one of these big 3. Matter of fact, every successful offer in general fits into one of these big three. Why? Because these are human desires that never go away. Let's do a quick exercise. I want you to use our document that's going to be tagged somewhere below. And I want you to write down 3 things you do great in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships, right? You need to make 3 examples for each different niche. For example, in health, it can be fitness or nutrition. Maybe you're good at eating healthy. It can be maybe mental health. Maybe you're good at reducing stress or anxiety. And maybe these are things you're able to help others with. If it's wealth, we can talk about maybe making money, saving money. Maybe you're good at a specific skill that can help others to make money. And you're able to teach things like sales, e-commerce, or maybe you do credit repair or taxes or more financial literacy. Maybe you're good at investing, or you can help someone even find a job and job placements. These are all things that can be in wealth. Let's do relationships. This can be dating. This can be networking. Maybe you're good at overall communication skills. Maybe you can teach parents how to connect better with their kids, or husbands to love their wives more, or wives to love their husbands more. Whatever it is, you can put that in there and you can help people with that. Now, after you've done that, I want you to circle or highlight one section of the big three. Whichever you feel are the strongest and more equipped to help people on, that's going to be the main focus. And I would even say the only thing we're going to be focusing on. Now, let's talk about who your community is for. Using this sheet, I want you to start creating your target audience. We're going to start out with age. So whether it's 18 to 25, 25 to 50, whatever your age range is for the people you want to help. Ethnicity. Now, if this matters, you can put your ethnicity, but sometimes you want to actually select, who actually is maybe going to be interested in working with you. A lot of times people want to work with people who are similar as them. So if you're a black man, you're probably going to get more black people. If you're a white woman, you're probably going to get more white women. It just so happens that that's going to be the case a lot of times. Gender, maybe put the gender of people that you want to work with or people who are more attracted to work with you. Role or occupation, hobbies, location. Do you have a location of a certain amount of people that are certain type of people you want to work with? Do you only work with people in New York or people in the city? Does that even matter? And then etc. The key here, guys, is to get super niche, especially when starting out. For example, we had a partner, Keandre Taylor, who was making $2K a month with his community and couldn't get any more sales in. I saw on his Instagram that this guy was faith-based. He always posted Bible verses on his Instagram story. So I told him to change his community from, being more broad and focus on faith-based audience. Originally, his community was called Ecom Skills. And after he changed his name to Kingdom Ecom and had targeted marketing towards people who are faith-based, he went from doing $2,000 a month, guys, to over $20K a month within the next 30 days. Now, the lesson here, guys, is when people feel like your community is the perfect fit for them, not only do they want to join, but they're actually willing to pay even more. Remember, guys, riches are made in the niches. Next thing after we have our target audience, we want to figure out your unique mechanism and your transformative statement. This is the how. How do you actually help people in your community? For example, we're going to use this framework. I help X type of person achieve X type of result doing unique mechanism, right? You're going to help target audience achieve whatever they're looking to achieve doing what you do. So putting it together, I'll use some examples. You can say, I help busy moms lose 20 pounds or more by living a healthier lifestyle. Or I help entrepreneurs get access to 50K in business funding without getting denied from every bank. Once you have that, now you have a good foundation for your community. Here's your action step. Continue to refine your transformative statement. And I also want you to think really hard about how you can niche down your target audience. And the third thing is, if you have a unique mechanism, put a name to it. Whatever it is, it can be called the, XYZ method or whatever it makes most sense for you. Lesson 1.3. How to create an irresistible community offer stack. Your community is only as strong as your offer. Let's build a stack that makes people say, I need to be in that. Here's an example of an offer stack that you can use. You can use this worksheet to build out your communities. I want you to think in tiers, okay? We're gonna start out with the free. This is your lead magnet. A lead magnet is something that you give to people for free in exchange for someone's contact information, their email or their phone number. I strongly recommend using a free community for a lead magnet if you don't have a big audience yet. First, we're going to start with the low ticket, right? This can be anything from $10 a month all the way to, let's say, $250 a month, depending on your audience and depending on what sort of value you're giving. In this low ticket offer, you're going to have courses, you're going to have templates, you're going to have content libraries, you're going to have maybe weekly calls. This is great for volume, and this is actually going to be your community. The second offer structure is going to be your mid-ticket offer, usually anywhere from $250 all the way to maybe $2,000. The best way that I've seen to do an offer stack with a community is to do an annual of your community. Okay, so usually you're going to multiply whatever your community price point is by 10. Let's say you have a $49 a month community. Well, we're going to make the mid ticket $497, and then you're going to give them a little bit more bonus, whether that's a one-on-one call. This can be good to build connection with somebody with a high intent and potentially even upsell them to your high ticket. This could be a bonus course that usually is something that you upsell and is usually something that's more expensive, but they get it for free or as a part of your mid-ticket offer as well. The third one is going to be a high ticket offer, usually something around $2,000 all the way up to even over $50,000, will be a high ticket offer. This can be something that's a heavy done with you or maybe even a full done for you offer. We're thinking about access to you, maybe one-on-one calls, access to a team, maybe premium, services, accelerators, or maybe even, in-person events, right? That are all combined. You usually want to value stack this offer on everything that they get. So they might get a few one-on-one calls with you. Maybe they also get a software. Maybe they get a build out, and maybe they also get an annual in-person event. And then you boil it together to form your high ticket offer. The best way to think about this is you want to give customers the highest chance of success for whatever they're looking to hit, right? So if they're looking to lose weight, maybe it's, giving them more attention and more accountability and maybe helping them to track their macros. If they're looking to scale their business, maybe it is a little bit more hands-on consultation. Maybe you're building a website for them. Maybe you're helping them with their marketing, or maybe they're looking to, get doing dating advice. Maybe you're helping them with, their Instagram or their Tinder or Hinge profile, and you're coaching them through the date. It could be even as deep as that. So the goal here is you want to give them a high chance of success or whatever they're looking to hit, but you also want to do it in a way where it's not taking up all of your time, because that's not scalable. Now, after you define your target audience that we did before, you want to build your stack backwards from their desired outcome. So whatever they're looking to achieve, think about things that you can add into your offers that can help them to achieve that. What sort of modules and digital products and courses do you need to create? What sort of value can you give them that's going to be able to give them that chance of being successful? Now, each layer of your value stack needs to solve a specific problem. It needs to be easy to consume or access, and it needs to lead them naturally into the next level. The goal is it's an entire funnel. Someone may come in from a free product that you give, or maybe you're low ticket, but after learning about what you do, seeing that you're successful and seeing the value that you're able to give them, they want to upgrade into your high ticket program, right? So it's an entire funnel, and the way that you want to build it is as such. Your next action step: map out a 3-tier offer stack with a lead magnet based on your niche and your audience's biggest pain points. Lesson 1.4. Should you build a paid community or only a free community? Let's talk strategy. Free communities are great brand awareness and nurturing a cold audience. Paid communities are great for cash flow, retention, and deeper transformation. Here's a simple rule of thumb. If you have a small or new audience, start with a free community. It's going to allow you to get your leads, nurture them, and then get them to view you as an expert. And if you have a large or mature audience, then you already have the reach on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Then these audiences are going to be warm. So you already technically have a free community on social platforms. Now you can use this to drive people into your paid community, and you can utilize lead magnets like webinar registration forms or PDFs that you can send through ManyChat and capture their contact info. But you don't necessarily need to create a free community if you already have a large warm audience. Now, there's so many ways to actually monetize with a free community, I will say, that we'll get into, but one of the biggest ways is through affiliate commissions. So you can start a free community and market and give people value, but you could also, promote a software or promote tools or maybe someone else's product or community that you can actually earn an affiliate commission by offering them this product. And the coolest part about an affiliate commission is you actually don't have to deliver any services. Now, at the end of the day, guys, the biggest thing I want you to understand is that you're creating a funnel, right? You're not just creating a community, you're creating a community funnel, right? And the reason being, and the reason why you want to do that, is you want to actually be able to nurture people and to upsell them into other different products. Your community acts as a foundation and essentially a nurturing system to take somebody from a cold lead to a warm buyer. Your next action step: decide what phase you're in. Write down your primary platform and whether your community should start with a paid or a free. Lesson 1.5, community strategy and sales. Now, in this lesson, we're going to talk about what everyone really wants to know. How does this turn into sales? Before we get into that, let's talk about what online sales is all about. This is the framework: cold, warm, buy. Our goal is to take a cold lead, someone who has no idea who you are or barely knows about you or what you do, and turn them into a warm lead, somebody who knows, likes, and trusts you and understands what you do, and then give them an irresistible offer. This is going to be something that helps them in their goal or pain, and then once they buy, we have turned them into a buyer or a member of your community. Now, before we get into this, I want to preface that there are different funnels and different strategies that work for different businesses and people. Here at communitylaunch.com, we work directly with people to figure out what strategy may work best for them. And there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, but ultimately they all fit into cold, warm, buy. In this course, I'll briefly discuss multiple strategies, but the main strategy that works for most people is going to be the free to paid strategy. Step 1, free community opt-in. In your top of funnel, we're going to drive organic and paid content directly into your free community for people to opt in. Once they opt in, we're going to get people's email and phone numbers as a lead magnet, and then they get access into your community. In this community, they're going to have value where they're going to actually be able to watch courses and content to be able to learn a little bit more about who you are and what you do. They'll also be able to see testimonials inside of your community and people having wins. You're also going to host a free live call periodically and maybe even give them one-on-one calls to qualified members. Step 2, conversion event. Once someone's inside your main community or your free community, they will have the chance to upsell either through webinars, DM or SMS or email automations, or even one-on-one calls, and even possibly quick CTAs inside of your community posts or course materials. Step 3, automate the flow. We use tools like Go High Level, Zapier, ManyChat to auto onboard, auto nurture, and auto sell. You can even create 30-day email and SMS sequences to sell your community on autopilot, because maybe somebody actually doesn't buy from you day one, but after watching your course materials, hopping on a webinar, seeing consistent value from emails, they end up buying, right? These automations help to enhance conversions by getting higher show-up rates on calls and even webinars by making sure you are staying top of mind. Step 4, accelerate with team members. As you scale, which we're going to get into a little bit later on in this course, you may need to hire team members to enhance conversions even further, such as community managers, appointment setters, or closers. A community doesn't replace your sales process, though. It's going to amplify it. The best communities are built with a clear path and an outcome. They're supported by automated engagement and follow-ups, and they're designed to warm up leads for high-ticket closers or webinars. Now, here's your action step. Map out your current funnel from discovery to conversion and identify where your community is going to fit into that journey. Lesson 1.6, build your MVC, your minimum viable community. To close our module, it's going to be building time. Now, when we're thinking of building a community, there are so many platforms to choose from. We have School, we have WAP, Go High Level, Circle, Discord, etc., etc., etc. And all of these have their pros and cons. However, essentially, they're all the same, minus or plus some features. In this course, we will be mainly talking about School as an example, with some references to WAP, especially when we talk about payment processing. School is super easy to navigate, which is why I like it. At communitylaunch.com, we've helped launch communities on all platforms, but as of now, the bulk of communities have been on School and WAP. Now, to preface, you don't need to overbuild a community. You need to launch it. So in this lesson, we're actually going to be taking action and building your MVC. And again, MVC stands for minimum viable community. It's the bare community needed to get members inside, engaged, and moving towards a result. In order to do that, I'm giving you guys our community setup and optimization checklist. Previously, this was only something we gave to our mastermind members who invested at least $5,000, but you all get access to this as a part of this course. Enjoy. Inside School, your MVC setup should include 1, a completed about page with a description, image, and VSL if you have one yet. Next, you're going to do a start here post in your community, 1 to 2 pieces of foundational content, and pro tip, at the start of any course or content, you can actually utilize Loom. You don't necessarily need to create a high quality course like I'm doing right now, but Loom makes it super easy to share your screen and talk to your audience. However, if you do want to create a high quality course, I'll link our course building partner below somewhere on this video where you can actually talk with them. Next, you're going to create a calendar with 1 to 2 upcoming calls or events. You're also going to add in an auto DM. This is where you're going to be able to send people a message in their inbox as soon as they come into your community. Super important to do this. Next, basic onboarding message. It can be automated later on. And then also, if you're doing a free community, you want to make sure you collect people's email and phone number through membership questions. You can do membership questions on School, and if you're using a different platform, you can put it into your funnel or your opt-in. And guys, we're building your minimum viable community. You don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. For a full walkthrough of creating a community from start to finish, I'll link a recording of doing a walkthrough step-by-step that you guys can watch on your own time. Your action step, use the community optimization template to launch your MVC by the end of this week. Module 1 recap. You now have the strategy to build a profitable community from scratch. You should understand why community building is essential in today's world. You've chosen what your community is going to be about, and you've started building your offer stack. You now should know whether it should be free or paid, and you've mapped out how it all ties into your sales process. And also, last but not least, you structure your MVC, and now you have your minimum viable community to get launched. Now, we're gonna move into module 2 and get all this thing launched. Let's go. Module 2, launch. We're gonna set up, go live, and attract your first members. In this module, you're gonna dive into the practical steps required to set up your community, go live, and begin attracting your first members. From community structure and visuals to system setups and go-to-market strategies, I'm gonna guide you through the process of launching a well-prepared, profitable community that's ready to engage and convert. By the end of this module, you'll have everything you need to ensure your launch is smooth and successful. Module takeaways. In this module, you're gonna learn how to set up your community for success. Learn how to structure your community, create impactful visuals, craft welcome posts, and write copy that speaks directly to your ideal members, ensuring your community is inviting and ready to engage. Next, simplifying your CRM systems and automation setup. You're going to understand how to integrate and automate your systems so that you can focus on building relationships and growing your community, not only managing the tech behind it. We'll make sure you have all the tools connected and streamlined. Next, create compelling visuals and sales assets. Discover how to design eye-catching visuals and templates that resonate with your audience. You'll learn how to create swipe-worthy content that drives engagement and converts interest into actions, and sales assets to actually utilize on sales calls and webinars. Next, payment processing secrets. Learn how to set up your pricing strategy to attract the right members and how to maximize profit in the online education space. You're going to get the tools that are useful to create custom plans, minimize risk, and maximize reward. Next, we're going to develop a go-to-market plan. You'll master different launch strategies depending on your current stage. Whether you're starting from scratch or scaling an existing audience, this plan will help you to create buzz, drive initial memberships without overwhelming yourself. Next, you're going to announce your community with confidence. We're going to explore how to make an impactful announcement utilizing organic posts, DMs, and outreach strategies that generate excitement. You're going to learn how to make your launch announcement feel personal, approachable, and compelling. And last, we'll introduce paid ads for effective growth. You'll gain an understanding of how to use paid ads creatively, even on a budget. We'll guide you through ad creative types, targeting strategies, and cost-effective approaches to bring in the right members and kickstart your community's growth. Lesson 2.1, set up your community for success. Now that you have your minimum viable community framework, it's time to make sure your setup communicates value, authority, and clarity. First up, your about page or landing page. This is your VSL moment, and VSL stands for video sales letter. You're going to want to create a 2 to 5 minute video that welcomes people in, shows your face and energy, communicates exactly who your community is for and what they get, and clearly tells them what's the next step. To add, your VSL should talk about who you are, what you're about, and why you're helping people. It's good to add a rags to riches story if you have one. Also show your best testimonials and the people that you've helped. You can view our VSL script template and make it yours. Feel free to revise and put it into ChatGPT. Do what you got to do. Just make sure it sounds like you and authentic. And remember, guys, your about page or your landing page is your first impression. Do not waste it. Do not cut corners on it. Make sure it is legit and it actually brings people in. Then we have your welcome video inside the community. This is what members see right away, and it should reaffirm why they're there. It should show them where to go first, maybe walk them around the different tabs of the community, introduce the vibe and energy of the community, and point them to action. You want them to introduce themselves, book a call, upgrade, whatever it is, you want to point them towards that. This is almost like a bridge sale offer. They just joined your paid or free community, and now you should direct them on what to do next, whether that's to watch more content, book a call, or a light CTA to your paid community. Next up, we have content structure. If this is a paid community, you want to deliver the result. You want to deliver immense amount of value. If this is a free community, you still want to deliver a result, but almost a taste in what they could get next. Examples. Free, you might have a weekly training, checklist, challenge, all pointing towards a call or upgrade. And a paid, you might have the full course, milestones, live support, weekly calls, and maybe an upgrade to your mid or high ticket. Don't overthink it. Value plus direction equals retention. And here are a couple plugins to consider, especially in school. One, you want to make sure you go ahead and put your Zoom or Google Meet calendar and embed it into your actual calendar on your community. Make sure you have your auto DM plugin, add in a booking link or maybe an upgrade link into the auto DM. Leaderboard or gamification features is really good to add in leaderboards and gamification. And then you want to have a resource library. You can link as many courses, PDFs as you want to. I like to also add testimonials from clients that have helped you in the past. You definitely want to have screenshots, short clips, or quotes and what you have done. You can also add image or video testimonials to your about page. And if you get clients to personally join your community, ask them to post their testimonials inside of your community, especially in your free community. You actually want to pin to the top of your community the best performing or maybe the highest earning testimony you can find inside of your community. So as soon as someone joins your community, boom, they see an awesome win in testimonial, and that allows them to build trust in what you do. And remember, guys, work smart. You can use ChatGPT to draft things, but make sure you customize it in your own language. These are things like your landing page copy, your welcome video scripts, your course outlines, content post prompts. It's not about doing more, it's about getting live and getting live fast. Your next action step, record your VSL, welcome video, and structure your free or paid content with a clear next step. Lesson 2.2, simplify your CRM, systems, and automation setup. Tech shouldn't slow you down, it should sell for you while you sleep. Here's how to set up your backend utilizing the community launch CRM built on Go High Level. Step 1, free to paid automation. When someone joins your free community, what you're going to do is you're going to trigger an email and text sequence. You're going to be able to prompt them to book a call with you or upgrade to your paid community. You can also add them to a follow-up automation if they don't do one of those things to remind them to book a call or upgrade. Step 2, auto DM sequences utilizing ManyChat. You can auto reply to keywords in Instagram DMs. You can say, comment the word school, comment the word community, and send them a link. You can also qualify leads, and you can drop booking links or upgrade links. Step 3, webinar auto registration. This is super, super important and super cool. When someone opts into join your free community, you can auto register them to your next training. You can send confirmation and calendar invites if you want to. And this allows them to actually show up to that call where you can upsell them into another tier or program. Step 4, booking system. You want to set up your CRM calendar. 1, you're going to want to set up your booking link, which links to your own calendar. And 2, you also want to create a pre-call homework page. In this pre-call homework page, you're going to have a page with testimonials talking about people who've been able to work with you before. You're also going to be able to talk about why they should show up to their call and how they can be better prepared for their call that they're going to have with you or your team. Now, once you've set up all these automations, your funnel is now live, all right? We start with traffic, opt-in to them joining the community, getting on a call or upgrading, and then closing them. And again, if you don't have a CRM yet, you can go ahead and grab our CRM at community launch. Your action step, launch your free to paid funnel, booking link, and webinar flow. You're gonna test each one, make sure it works, and tweak the copy as needed. Lesson 2.3, create compelling visuals and sales assets. This is where you start making noise. Everything you post should follow this framework: hook, body, CTA. An example of this could be most people launch their community backwards, and that's the hook. Then my body, I could share a quick insight about, the right way to launch it. And the CTA would be like comment, launch, and I'll send you my community setup. And with organic content, we want to do talking head videos. This is where you can use your phone or a camera. You can do text over video reels. These are like, easy styles, or maybe POV and storytelling. If you need help with organic content, you can actually check out Socialmize Academy, where they teach essentially all the ins and outs on content creation. Next is email and SMS copy. You can utilize ChatGPT for a lot of these things, but you want to utilize short, punchy language. And you can send launch announcements, call to action reminders, and testimonials and proof blasts, where you can actually send people to your free or paid communities. Next, we have our minimum viable community webinar slides. The first slide is you're going to have some sort of title slide. What is the name of your live training? What can they expect to learn on that call? Then you're going to have your story. So have slides where you talk about your story. Usually you want to have some sort of rags to riches story, or you want to talk about how you got the information and how you got the experience that you got and learn those things. And then you're going to deliver your framework, usually around 3 to 5 slides that you can talk about your framework and how you're able to deliver that. Then we're going to talk about case studies. Okay, you're going to have some slides about case studies and people you work with. And then at the last, you're going to drop your offer. Usually you want to have what we call a stack slide offer, where you actually drop the value or the what the value of those different things of your offer should be. And at the end, you'll obviously drop the offer and the actual price point of it as well. And at the end, you can put a FAQ for anyone to ask any questions. Now, to design these things, I'm always going to recommend Canva. Canva is super easy to design any sort of things that need graphics. If you want to get a graphic designer, that's fine. You can get that, but a lot of graphic designers nowadays use Canva anyway. And then you can put some social posts, for Canva as well, story slides, and any lead magnets for ebooks. For speed, you want to utilize templates on Canva as well. Now, your action step, build your first 3 pieces of launch content, right? These are your core sales slides. Make your webinar slides. Make your first short form reels as well to actually launch, and then also design some emails and texts. Lesson 2.4, payment processing secrets. Your community and program isn't complete until you have a way to take payment. Here's how you do it right. Step 1, create flexible payment options. You always want to have a monthly option whenever you're doing a community, but you always want to have an annual option as well, which can be your mid-ticket offer. You want to set up PIF and payment plan options for your high ticket offers as well. Usually I tell people to do a PIF, which is paid in full, and that can be a discount. And then you have a 2-pay option, which can be slightly higher, and then a 3-pay option. Usually going to do like the 2-pay and 3-pay. They can separate it into 2 months or 3 months. I usually don't recommend doing anything over like a 4-month payment plan, because usually you might risk some people not paying if they can't even do a 2-pay or 3-pay. And then last, you want to use anchor pricing to justify your price point, or fast action discounts. For example, if you're on a sales call with somebody, you can say, hey, the price is normally, $6K, but we have a fast action discount where if you're able to make the investment right now, it's $4,500. Okay, you can utilize that to get people to take action. Okay, now don't be afraid to start at a lower price and raise it over time. One thing I've learned is you can always start low and go up, but it's hard to start high and go lower, right? If somebody got into your community at, $150 a month, and now you have your community at $50 a month, well, guess what? They're probably going to cancel. So you want to start out low and then slowly raise. And the good thing is the people who got your lower tier pricing, they're going to be more likely to stay because they're going to feel like they got something at a grandfathered rate. And that's going to keep them around and keep them a little bit stickier, right? Step 2. You also want to add free trials at the start. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this if you have a warm audience, but it can be something that can be very beneficial for people with a cold audience or an audience that isn't as nurtured, okay? And obviously, you're only going to do this for recurring products. You're not going to do this for your high ticket program. You're not going to say 7 days free for my 5K program. So this is going to be mainly for your low ticket. Anything that's like $27 a month, $99 a month, you can essentially say the first 7 days are free. You can also do $1 trials. You can do this on platforms like WAP, which I'll get into in a bit. Now, this could be good at launch depending on your audience. Not everybody needs to do a free trial, but it can be something that can limit the friction of someone wanting to spend money. Step 3, set up your processor. Just to note, when it comes to info products, Stripe usually does not like us, right? They don't like people who sell courses. They don't like people who sell digital products. And actually, I think they've made it where they will ban your Stripe or shut your business down. I've seen so many people that have had so much money just stuck on Stripe, and it really sucks when you have monthly recurring revenue on there, okay? Meaning, we need to use what we call a high risk processor. Now, a high risk processor essentially is a processor that no matter, what sort of industry you're in, they allow payment processing. If you have a high dispute rate or chargeback rate, they usually can work with you up to a certain amount. Now, one of my favorites is going to be WAP, WHOP. Now, what you're going to do with WAP, and I'll probably link our WAP setup checklist below, but you're going to simply just sign up and you're going to add your bank account and information. You're going to create product pages. You can also, add Apple Pay and buy now, pay later solutions. Now, guys, buy now, pay later solutions is the biggest hack when it comes to payment processing. And essentially, you guys have seen this before. It's Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. Now, I actually read this somewhere, and don't quote me on this 100%, but I believe it was like in 2023, 60% of all consumers in the US utilized buy now, pay later solutions at least once, right? At least one time they use Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay, something to split up their payments, right? And be able to still get whatever they're buying. Now, the cool thing about you guys who are going to be, selling and utilizing buy now, pay later options for your customers is you actually get paid in full right then and there, right? So they might be able to split up your $1,000 program into 12 payments, but you get that $1,000 right then and there, which allows you to operate at scale, okay? Now, go ahead and check the WAP setup checklist. I'll have it linked below, but that'll help you to be able to get started. All right, next is school payments. If you're using school, for example, if you're participating in what's now called the school games, you'll just need to connect your Stripe and add your bank account. Now, to participate in the school games, you do have to take payment on school. I do want to be transparent with you guys. Big fan of school, I love school, but right now, currently at the time of recording this, their processing is not the best, meaning they don't have Apple Pay, right? Everybody's paying on Apple Pay nowadays, especially in first world countries and people who have iPhones, they use Apple Pay. They don't have that, right? So in order to buy something on school, people have to take out their card unless they already have their card information already connected to their school, which 9 times out of 10, most people don't have that, right? So our goal is to make sure things have an ease of purchase, because an ease of purchase equals more conversions. If your checkout is going to take 5 steps, you're losing people. Your action step for this lesson, set up your offer in WAP and add payment links to your CTA buttons as well. And make sure you have different payment plan options that increase people's likelihood and chance of actually making a purchase. Lesson 2.5, develop a go-to-market plan. No more random launches. We need to create a plan based on real assets. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and download the go-to-market worksheet and answer these simple questions. 1, do you have an email list or phone numbers, right? If you have an email list or phone numbers, then we're going to develop some sort of strategy to utilize that list, of course. Next, do you have an audience, a large audience? And on what platforms do you have an audience for, okay? Is it on Instagram? Is it on TikTok? Is it on Facebook? Is it on YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever? Based on that platform, we're going to create a strategy on that platform. Next, do you have an affiliate or creator that you work with or a partner, right, that has a good reach? You want to definitely sync with them and make sure you guys connect on your launch strategy. Next, do you have a budget for ads? Okay. And then last, do you have a calendar or launch deadline? Okay. If you have to launch your community at a certain point, then you need to build it around that. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build a 3-phase rollout. 1, we're going to tease it. Right? You want to countdown posts, you want to have early invites, you want to drop value, you want to talk about you're going to be launching a community. You might even drop the time and the day that it's going to be dropping. That way people are interested in it. 2, you're going to drop it. You're going to drop your community and you're going to drop it with a launch, with email, with text blast, short form content, DMs, the whole 9. Use what you have at your disposal and go hard. Next, you're going to maximize it, right? I usually like to do some sort of live stream or training or limited time offer. It can be really even cool for FOMO. Like you say like, hey, you just launched your community, but maybe the next week you have your official launch call, right? Where it's essentially your first webinar. And that way you can really talk about everything that's going to be getting. And you can drop courses like maybe week by week to keep people engaged at the early days. Your action step, complete your worksheet and write down your go-to-market strategy. Be customized based on what you have to offer. Maybe think creatively about different things, right? What can you do that's going to make a big splash about your community? Lesson 2.6, launch. Now, guys, your launch is not a whisper, it's a moment. Here's how to make it feel real and create instant energy. Okay, so step 1, you're going to load up some members in your community. These can be friends, family, past clients. What you don't want to happen is you don't want to launch a community and then people see there's nobody in there, because people won't want to join. It's a weird thing, I know, but when people feel like nobody else is involved or nobody's in something, they don't want to pay. They don't even want to join your free community if nobody's in there. So reach out to friends, family, past clients, and ask them to join. Next, you want to ask them to post in your community, even if it's simple intros, right? Ask them to post in your community, give them some sort of framework that they can follow. That way, when other people join, they can see that they're not the only people in there. Step 2, test your tech. You want to make sure your onboarding emails are working, your automation flows are working, your payment links people can actually take payment. Because if you have a payment link and nobody can even buy your thing, then it's definitely not ready for launch. And you want to make sure all of this stuff is working before you do any sort of traffic directly to your funnel, right? And then step 3, you want to add in a short form blast, okay? You want to create at least 3 to 5 videos that, all follow a hook, body, and CTA that you can post consistently that are going to bring engagement towards your community. You also want to think about stories, reels. You maybe want to pin a post to your Instagram or whatever platform you're using that's directing traffic directly to that community. And last but not least, you want to build FOMO and scarcity, fear of missing out, guys. It's super, super important, right? You can also do things like maybe if you have a free community, you can tell people at a certain amount of people, it's going to cost money. If you have a paid community, a certain amount of people, it's going to be more expensive. Whatever you can do, you can build that scarcity and that FOMO as well. Anybody who's getting wins in your community, especially early on, make sure you're sharing those wins. Blast those wins. Post about those wins on your story. Say, hey, so-and-so just joined my community and they got XYZ. Whatever it is, you want to be consistent and you want to let people know. Step 4, make it special. All right. As I said before, I like to offer a free live training for like a first coaching call, or maybe even a course release for early adopters, right? Like, what do they get for joining your community early on that other people may not get, right? Make it really special. It's really important to build momentum early on because this is actually the easiest time to build momentum, right? It's hard to build momentum if you're like, 6 months in, right? But if you build momentum right now, that's going to carry you for a very long time and allow you to scale farther, all right? You also want to give value and give bonuses to maybe the first 10 to 20 people as well. Your action step, prep your warm network, test your backend, and create 3 launch videos or posts. Lesson 2.7, introducing paid ads for effective growth. If you want to scale fast, paid ads are the shortcut, guys. I'm telling you right now, I've tried every different marketing sort of thing you can possibly think of: outbound, organic content, email. I've never done door-to-door for a community. I don't recommend doing that, but I've tried everything there is, and paid ads is the best. But let's talk about it for you guys. So first off, Meta is going to be king. That's Facebook and Instagram, right? If you're going to start out with paid ads, I wouldn't recommend doing Google, unless you're like a service-based business, or LinkedIn or anything like that. Let's do Meta. Right? It has the cheapest cost per lead when targeting creators, business owners, or side hustlers, or anybody who's probably going to be joining your community. Nowadays, it's very, very easy to set up your own ad account, guys. You literally just look it up on YouTube. I'm not going to go into super detail, but also it can even be enhanced with AI. So within the Community Launch CRM, we actually have an AI ads tool, which is included, which we actually utilize AI to help you write headlines, ad copy, and audience targeting. Now, when you launch your ads, you're going to start off with a small budget, maybe anywhere from $10 to $50 a day, just to test creative types. Okay. And that budget is going to depend on what budget you have, of course. You'll also start off with some short form videos, testimonials. I like doing video testimonials whenever necessary. You can also do some testimonial screenshots and maybe just some simple value carousels. And guys, if you don't have a budget yet, I'm going to be honest, you're going to need to get a budget for ads unless you have a large, warm, organic audience, right? And if you don't have a budget for ads, then I recommend getting business funding, okay? That's something that I was able to do. I wasn't able to scale for the longest time. I was stuck at like 20K a month, and then literally went to the bank and got a 50K credit card, and I put that card in my ad account and I went crazy. So guys, I would recommend doing that because that allows you to scale a lot more efficiently and more effectively. Now, again, it's ads, it's a risk. Don't think of ad spend as an expense, guys. Think of it as an investment. Now, when you're spending money on ads, not only are you getting leads into your community, and not only are they going to sell and they're going to buy, but potentially you're growing your audience more and more and more. You're growing your foundation, you're growing your ecosystem. And the easiest way, again, to do that is with ads. And guys, if you need business funding, I'm going to link a call with our recommended funding partner. You're going to need to be in the US, you're going to need to have a certain credit score and all that stuff, but they'll tell you all the information below. Now, your action step: launch your first ad utilizing the Community Launch CRM with AI, or secure funding to get started with ads as well. Module 2 recap. You now have a community that's set up and converting. You have automation that's doing most of the heavy lifting, so you don't have to do things manually. You should have sales assets that create buzz for your community and your audience. You should have all your payment links that are smooth and flexible. You want to have a go-to-market plan grounded in your assets. You should be confident to announce your strategy and announce your community. And you have a playbook to scale with paid traffic. Next up, let's sell, grow, and convert with confidence in Module 3, Scale. Module 3, Scale. Sell more, reach more, and convert better. In this module, we're going to focus on strategies that drive revenue and growth for your community. From building a reliable growth engine with weekly content and paid traffic, to refining your ad creatives. We're going to talk about offers and sales processes. In this module will help you reach more people and convert them into paying members and clients. Whether you're looking to improve ad performance, run webinars that close deals, or streamline your sales process, this module will give you the tools and insights to optimize your revenue generating efforts. Module takeaways. In this module, you'll build a consistent growth engine, learn how to combine consistent high value content with paid traffic to create a powerful growth engine that scales your community. You'll discover how to maintain regular engagement through content while utilizing ads to boost visibility and attract new members. We're also going to test and optimize marketing, organic and paid creatives, hooks, and offers. Understand how to test ad creatives, copy, and offers to find what resonates best with your audience. We'll walk you through A/B testing, analyzing results, and making data-driven decisions to continually improve your ad performance. Next, run webinars that convert. Learn how to run compelling webinars that not only provide value, but also drive sales. We'll cover the structure of high converting webinars, the best practices for delivering engaging content, and how to use templates to streamline the process. And then we're going to talk about closing one-on-one high ticket offers with confidence. Gain the skills needed to confidently close high ticket offers with potential clients. You'll learn how to structure your conversations, overcome objections, and use upsell strategies to increase your sales and boost your community's revenue. Then we'll talk about the sales process. Discover how to design an efficient sales process that includes lead tracking, booking calls, and follow-ups. We'll show you how to integrate automation tools to streamline your sales funnel and make sure no lead is left behind. And last but not least, scale. Slowly ramp up marketing once things are dialed. Usually means paid traffic, but can also mean creating an affiliate flywheel system. We'll talk about how we've been able to do it with people and some of our partners, and we'll talk about how you can do it too. We'll also talk about a couple unique strategies that might help you to advance your sales process and essentially where the community sells itself. So yeah, we're going to be talking about all these things in this module. It's time to scale. Let's get it. Lesson 3.1, build a consistent community engine. Now that your community is launched, it's time to scale with consistency. Your community growth engine has two parts. One, content that engages your existing members. Okay, so we need to be creating content inside of the community. We need to be nurturing the content inside the community through posts, through emails, and through live calls. All these contents are super important. That way, somebody who's coming in, they're coming in as, again, a cold lead, but they're being warmed up content by content by content. And then two, we're talking about traffic. That's going to bring in the new people. And let's break that one down. Consistent organic content is a must. You need to be showing up online daily. Honestly, I'm going to say at least twice a day. You need to be posting content on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, all these things, especially with short form content. You can pick at least one or two platforms to start. You don't have to post on everywhere, but if you can, the more the merrier. You're going to use the hook, body, and CTA structure, and you're going to document your journey. You're going to share testimonials, and you're going to answer questions. And then every other day inside of your community, you want to start conversations. You want to be posting content. And again, you don't want to just be dropping, any sort of content in there. You want to be dropping value. Guys, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's super important to actually post and not just be consuming. And with paid traffic, we're going to run ads to drive traffic to your free community or lead magnet. You're going to use testimonials, value snippets, and talking head videos. And for ads, you want to be shooting from anywhere from around $3 to $5 per opt-in in your free community. Usually B2C communities are lower and B2B are usually on the higher end of the CPL. Now, engagement inside the community is just as important as external content. A quiet group is going to die. A lively one is going to multiply, right? So if you need help with content, check out our content creation community partner, Socialmize Academy. They can actually help you plan, script, and edit any content that's going to help your brand to be able to scale. Now, your action steps, schedule your next 7 days of content, 2 daily posts on social platforms, and at least 3 community posts that you can actually make inside of your community. Lesson 3.2, test and optimize. Guys, that's the name of the game. We got to test, we got to optimize. We got to consistently do it to make sure we get our stuff all the way correct. Now, we're going to be talking about organic and paid creatives, hooks, and offers. And guys, we have to test things. The people who test end up being the best. What you post and what you run as ads should always be evolving. You should be testing different hooks. You should be trying different CTAs, different languages, maybe even posting, going after more niche audiences. Maybe you go after all business owners right now, but maybe you should try content and ads that's going after specific types of business owners. You want to post at different times when posting your content, share different angles of your story, all of the above. I like to use A/B tests, especially when it comes to hooks. Guys, hooks are the most important part of ads, so much so that I've talked to 8-figure ad agencies, and the main thing they're looking at is the hook rate. And that's the amount of people that either swipe or they stay on after the first 3 to 5 seconds. So you want to test different hooks, especially in your short form content and ads. You want to test different formats, maybe different text posts, maybe different videos. Now, as I said in the start, guys, there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? Now, I believe that short form content, as of the time of me posting this and creating this course, is the best way to get your business out there and is the best way to actually be successful in ads. However, you might want to test maybe text-based ads, maybe, more image-based ads. All those different things can still hit the mark if done correctly. And then maybe test different offers, maybe push book a calls versus free trial, maybe push to a lead magnet. You want to continue testing until you continue improving. Right? A good rule of thumb is to duplicate your ad set and change only one variable, usually being the hook or usually being your target audience. And then you want to run that ad for 3 to 4 days with at least $10 a day before judging performance. Your benchmark, you're going to want to be able to get at least 50 new people per week inside your free community. And that's just, okay, you're doing something right. Now let's scale up, right? And if you're in a paid community, you want to be getting at least 10 members per week inside your paid community. If you're not there yet, you need to continue tweaking until you are. Now, a big thing that I want to talk about before we even get into the other lessons is profitability. You don't necessarily have to be profitable on the front end when it comes to the community funnel, especially if we're talking about monthly recurring revenue. For example, if you spend $100 to get a $50 a month member, is that good? Well, I would say it is. For one, you're going to break even on month 2 as long as they stay. And if your churn's not bad, then you're good. And next thing is that you have the potential to upsell that person. If they pay money for your community and they watch your courses, they hop on calls, maybe they hop on a one-on-one call with you, and now you're upselling them, right? So when you're doing all this marketing, when you're getting people in there, that's one thing to think. You're like, okay, to get 50 people in there, I have to spend X amount of money on ads, or I have to spend X amount of time creating content, and you feel like maybe you're not getting a good bang for your buck in the first month. Then again, guys, you got to think long term about this thing. You might get a 0.4x ROAS in the first month, but in month 6, we're giving a 4x ROAS on everything. Now, your action step, choose one creative, one copy variation, and one offer that you want to test this week and go all in on it. Lesson 3.3, sales process. Now that people are in your ecosystem, your job is to upsell them. And you do that through getting booked calls. Now, here's the process. 1, your automations to send texts, emails to the lead, directing them to book on your calendar. 2, You want to make sure that your automations also follow up, and you can follow up manually also inside of your CRM with anyone who hasn't booked a call yet. 3, you want to post consistent CTAs inside your community, maybe giving value, maybe talking about a testimonial or a current client or somebody who is in your higher tier program, and then say, hey, if you're interested in getting the same sort of help, then book a free strategy call with me. And that's going to be your CTA. You should be taking as many calls as possible right now if you're not making consistent income yet. Conversions happen on calls. This is your market research, this is your feedback loop, and this is your sales machine all in one. Now, I promise you guys, a lot of people are going to say, oh, I need to hire a salesperson. I need to hire a sales. Guys, do not go hire a closer until you've proven the offer for yourself. Usually closers aren't even good, for the first few months, and they're never going to be as good as you. And the last thing is a closer, if they're not making a certain amount of income, they're going to quit anyway. You want to make sure the offer is proven and it's scalable, and you scale it yourself first before bringing on anybody to help you with that. Now, a few sales call metrics. 1, you should be shooting for a 20% book a call rate inside of your community, meaning 1 out of every 5 people are booking a call with you. And it can depending on what you're doing. For example, if you're really qualifying people super strongly, it might be 1 out of 10, but 1 out of 5 is usually about standard. Now, here are the most important sales KPIs. We have booked calls, amount of people who are booking a call. We have show rate. These are the percentage of people that are showing up to the call with you. We have close rate. Now, that's the percentage of people who are hopping on a call with you and they're actually buying. And then we have AOV. That stands for average order value, which means after you take off all of the revenue and divide it by the amount of people who actually paid, that's going to be your average order value. Now, let's say you get 400 people in your community in a month. You have a 20% booked call rate. So that means 80 people booked a call. Then you have a 75% show rate. So 60 people, 75% of 80, actually showed up to the call. So you have 60 live calls. And then you have a 25% close rate. All right, 25% of 60, that's going to get you 15 people who actually closed on the call and purchased one of your products. With an example offer stack of, let's say, $50 a month, and then let's say you have a $497 mid-ticket offer, which will be an annual of your low ticket for $50 a month. And then let's say you have a $2,500 high ticket. Let's assume all of these you evenly sold 3 ways from the 15 people, which would be 5 people at $50 a month, 5 people at $497, and then 5 people at $2,500. You would make around $15,250, with $250 of that being monthly recurring revenue. Now, if you divide that by 15, because you close 15 people, your AOV, otherwise known as your average order value, would be $1,017. Now, this is hypothetical, but you should be shooting for those KPIs within your high ticket. Again, hypothetical, it can be a lot more depending on your price point, your conversion rate, and it can be less if you don't have things tweaked the way that you need to. Now, your action step, get your first 5 calls booked this week and follow up with every unbooked lead to make sure they're also booking calls. Lesson 3.4, closing one-to-one high-ticket offers with confidence. Now, guys, I always say sales is a transfer of emotion. You want to be transferring whatever emotion you need into your prospect for them to feel confident in purchasing. And by the way, if you're watching this, I'm going to also drop our high-ticket sales script, where you guys can utilize that script, add in your offer, add in your frameworks, and make it your own. But that script has helped us make over $15 million for our partners when we were a sales agency back in 2022 and 2023. It works, it's proven, make it your own, and make some sales. So first and foremost, you want to frame the conversation. So after you do introductions, you ask them where they're from, you make a little bit of connections, you're going to say, awesome, so we have about 30 minutes. Is it cool if I jump right into it? They're going to be like, yeah, sure. They're going to say, cool. So this is how these calls typically go. It's kind of like going to a doctor. I'm just going to ask you a few questions to get a better understanding of, where you're at in your business, XYZ. Then I'll share how I've been able to help people just like you, X type of people, achieve X type of result. And if it makes sense, then we can talk about next steps. Sound good? And they're going to say good. That allows you to, 1, frame the call under a position of authority because you're going with the doctor frame. You're saying it's kind of like going to a doctor. And you're also framing the call and not letting them run the call and say, hey, this is what I need. This is what I need help with. Once they start running the show, you don't get any sort of closes. Next, you want to uncover their real pain. Not, I want to make money. They don't need to say, hey, I want to lose some weight. I want to find a girl. They need to actually give you the deepest, darkest pain that's possible. Like, why does that even matter? What happens if nothing changes? How is that affecting your life, your family, your confidence? You want to get crystal clear on their goals and paint a vivid vision, okay? They need to essentially be telling you, the real reason why this is life changing and they need this, right? Maybe they feel like they're not living up to their full potential. Maybe their girlfriend just broke up with them because they're out of shape or they're not making the money they want to make. Maybe they want to be an example for their kids. Whatever it is, they need to really dig deep on that and get crystal clear on whatever their pain is. The next thing is you want to talk to them about what success looks like in 6 months. Sometimes I'll even say, like, hey, let's imagine I have a magic wand in my hand and anything you want to happen in the next 6 months, it happens and it's possible. I guess, what does that look like for you? I kind of want you to paint that picture for me. What does that look like? When you ask that certain question, that's going to actually make someone paint the picture. What does success really look like for them? You don't want them to say, hey, I want to make 10K a month. Again, why do they want to make 10K a month? What else do they want to do? What do they really want to do? And you want to make them go big. If somebody's telling you something super small, stretch them. Like, what is their real goal? Everybody has the real goals, the goals that they're actually scared to say in public. And you need to make sure that they're going to give you those goals. They might say 10K a month, but their goal is 100K a month. They might say they want to lose a few pounds, but really they want a six pack and they want to feel like, a model when they're walking through the door, right? You want them to really dig deep on those goals and why they're wanting to hit them. Now that you have their pain, okay, and now that you have a clarity and a clear picture on their goals, you've created a gap, right? From where they're at, their pain, to where they want to be. Now you're going to offer them a solution that's going to bridge that gap. Okay, so that's how sales works. You can actually bridge that gap by transferring the motion of confidence in whatever you offer. So you're going to lead them with confidence. You're going to get them to believe in your offer so much that they feel it, and then they're going to be able to purchase it. Okay. Now, if someone doesn't make a purchase because maybe it's payment, situation, now you can also offer them those buy now, pay later options that we talked about beforehand, where you can offer them Klarna, you can do payment plans, and you can downsell them into your low ticket, like your paid community at the very, very minimum. Maybe they couldn't do your 2,500, maybe they couldn't do your 500, not even the payment plan. But, I always lead. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that Denzel meme, but he's like, I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. That's how you have to feel on a call. When someone's hopping on a call with you, they're leaving here with something. They have a pain. You have the solution for them. Get them to buy something, right? Obviously, don't push them so hard that they talk bad about you. But ultimately, it's your goal and it's your job to get them to make a decision. Pro tip, ask every person who takes a call to write a short review in your community. This is going to build trust and create FOMO. So if someone has a call with you and it was a really good call, you're going to give them a lot of value on that call. They're going to, you're going to dig deep into their pain, their goals. It's going to be a great call for them, whether they buy or not. Say, hey, if you enjoyed this call, just drop it in the community real quick. Just, say, hey, like the call with, Christian went really well. I really, tell anybody who's serious about this to hop on a call. This allowed me to get clarity on my goals and clarity on my strategy. And you'll be really, really surprised how many more people book calls with you simply because they see other people talking about it. Your action steps: role play your next sales call, record it, watch your back, improve. And I want you to go through our high ticket sales script and add in your exact offer and utilize that for your next sales call as well. Lesson 3.5, run webinars that actually convert. Webinars allow you to sell at scale. They allow you to sell one to many, which is the best thing you can possibly do when you're trying to be high leverage. Right? Sometimes one-on-one calls, they take a lot of time, right? And I think it's one of the best ways to actually make money is one-on-one calls. But sometimes, like I said, they take time, and selling one to many is way more efficient. Now, I'm going to give you guys the 6-part structure to converting on webinars. One, you want to have some sort of big promise and you want to explain your story. All right. So in a webinar, you want to go all the way back. How did you even get to where you're at today? What sort of struggles did you have? Really walk them through, why they should be listening to you, and get them to actually buy into who you are as a person by being very vulnerable and showing them, some sort of rag story, some sort of, rough upbringing, whatever you did to go from where you are now or where you were to where you are now. 2, you want to break down your framework. Okay. This is going to be a 3 to 5 step framework. You want to get very clear on there. You want to give them as much value as possible on this webinar to where they're just literally brain exploding because they're like, wow, this guy knows his stuff or this lady knows her stuff. 3, case studies and testimonials are super important. You want to talk about case studies and testimonials. If you want a little bit of a pro tip too, sometimes you can plant, a customer, a client in the webinar and then be like, oh, hey, I think I see Sarah on here. Sarah is one of our star students. Sarah, come up here. And now Sarah is giving you a live testimonial in front of your entire audience. 4 is the offer. Now, you're usually going to want to sell a mid-ticket offer on your webinar, which again is the annual of your community, and you want to value stack it so cleanly that people feel like it's just grand slam and they got to get it. Okay. And then you also want to sell them and downsell to your community as well, which is going to be your low ticket offer on the webinar. Typically on webinars, we're not selling high ticket offers, but it's been done before and I've done it before as well, but typically it doesn't convert as well as a mid ticket offer in that, $250 to $2K price range. And then next is you want to drop into a frequently asked questions. You want to open up for questions. You want to handle any objections that people are having. You want to really hype people up to who are purchasing. You want to say, oh, John just bought, Sarah just bought, Luke just bought, Kayla just bought. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And give people that FOMO, that fear of missing out. So when someone else is watching the webinar, they're like, oh man. And usually you want to have some sort of urgency as well. So urgency or scarcity, maybe it's at a discounted rate. So if people, it's only a limited amount of people who can buy, all those different things as well. And then last, if no one's bought yet, you also want to do a CTA and give them a free gift. So the people who are still on the webinar, usually I say, hey, if you're still on here, I'm going to do something special and I'm going to give you my checklist. All you have to do is drop in the community and say, give a review for what you learned on this live training. If you thought it was great, say it was great. If you didn't like it, say you didn't like it. You can say things like that. Or you can even give them a free trial to your community, which, like, hey, if you're still on the fence about joining my community, I get it. How about this? I'm going to give something away for free. I usually don't do this. All you guys got to do is go into my free community and write a review. If you learned something on this call, drop what you learned. And everybody who did it, I'm actually going to give you guys a personal link that's going to give you 7 days free of my community. That way you can try it before you buy it. You can test it. You can see if it's for you, right? And you do that, and a bunch of people, one, you're going to have a big FOMO because, again, people are inside of your community saying how amazing your call was, and everybody who didn't join is going to be like, oh man, I missed it. I need to join. And then you'll also have, people who are signing up for free trials, and people will convert. Usually conversions on free trials are anywhere from like 30% to like 60% on a free trial for a community. A lot of, people's trials don't convert because they have a declined credit card, which we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, when you're on the webinar, again, you want to ask questions to boost engagement. You want to say, hey, drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready to get some value. Drop ready in the chat if you're ready to get value. Now, remember, webinars and one-to-many sales, they feed off of energy, right? So you want to have a good amount of people on this call. Usually when people's webinars aren't doing well, a lot of times it's because they just didn't have enough people on there. You also want to use polls, get them to comment, make it fun and valuable. You're entertaining on this webinar, okay? And then again, after the webinar, you want to follow up with email and text. Okay, you can offer a limited time bonus. You can give a free trial for those who didn't buy. You can say, hey, I saw you were on the live training and you didn't join the XYZ. Here's the link. And you can automate a lot of that stuff in your automations. And guys, just to give you some quick metrics on what this looks like, let's say you have 400 people join your free community every month, right? And you're going to have around a 30% show rate for your webinar. Usually webinar show rates can be anywhere from 25 to 50%. But let's just say it's a 30% show rate. That's going to give you 120 people on this webinar. Let's say you close 5% of the room to a mid-ticket and 5% of the room to your low-ticket downsell, right? And let's say your mid-ticket is $497 and your low ticket is around like $50. So you're looking at around $3,000 in your mid ticket and around $300 in your low ticket, okay? Which is going to get you, $3,300 collected with $300 being MRR. Pro tip, everyone who buys your mid ticket offer, and sometimes you can even do this for your low ticket, you're going to give them a free consultation call. Okay, so that's how you stack that mid ticket. You say, hey, it also comes with a call with me. And when you get on that call, you're going to give them a bunch of value. You're going to show them the community. You're going to show them how to win. And then you're going to pitch them your high ticket, right? The coolest thing is when you do this, you're normally going to average a pretty decent upsell rate. So you should be able to upsell at least 30% of your mid tickets to your high ticket. So if you have 6 people who purchase in a month of your, you know, your mid ticket for $500, then you can convert at an upsell at least 2 of them, right? And if you're doing, 2,500 for your upsell, they only have to pay the remaining difference, meaning they only have to pay that $2,000 difference because they already paid 500, which actually makes them want to pay more because they're like, hey, I've already invested part of it. Okay. Now, again, you have buy now, pay later options. If people can't do the full 2,000, you can split up, you can do split pays, all those different things to make sure you're bringing more cash in the door. Your action step, build your webinar slides and make sure you set a date that you're going to run your first one following my entire process. Lesson 3.6, scale. You're ready to grow, but scale does not mean chaos. It means doubling down on what works, right? Alex Hormozi has this framework that I love. It's called more, better, new. And in the scale side of things, it's essentially just more and better, right? I will give a little bit more and better. You got to do more of what's working and you got to make things that are working a little bit more efficient as well. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to ramp up slowly. This is what scaling means. And essentially, usually what scaling means is increasing your ad spend. So many times people are afraid to increase ad spend. They're afraid to increase ad spend. Guys, look at your numbers. If you're testing things and you see that you can be profitable by your LTV, which means your lifetime value of your client, then it's time to ramp up, guys. It's time to go to that next level. Okay. So if you're hitting the right benchmarks, increase the ad spend, especially on ads that are converting well. Okay. You also want to maybe add new lead sources, maybe YouTube, maybe podcasts, maybe do partnerships. Again, this is all marketing. If you're only posting on a few platforms right now, start posting on more platforms. Okay. You may lose money, guys. Like I said, you may lose money in month 1, but if your community is sticky and people upgrade, you can go crazy. You can go crazy. So it's really important that you continue scaling. And as a bonus, I want to give you guys an affiliate flywheel system. We actually have a partner, Brooklyn, who was able to do $100K a month by turning their members into ambassadors. Now, here's a strategy for it. Once you get a good base of people, you can do this. Step 1, you're going to set up affiliate tracking. You can use WAP, you can use School, but something that's going to give you automatic affiliate links where people can get paid and actually be able to dish it out. 2, you're going to create a short video tutorial showing them how to access their link and telling them and explaining the value proposition of marketing their community and getting paid from marketing your own community. Next, you're going to offer 30 to 50% commissions to your community. And this is actually going to create a growth engine. Very, very important. You want to offer a good affiliate commission on your community. Otherwise, people aren't going to promote it. If you're giving 10%, what's 10% of $50 a month? $5 a month? That's not really worth somebody's time to really push it like that. But if you're talking about 50%, man, you're talking about somebody really be able to make some money, right? And they don't even have to create the product. There's a lot of value in that, guys. So you do that, you scale it. And if you have a community, especially if you have a community of people who have audiences or content creators or people who are learning content creation or are micro-influencers, you definitely need to create a community where they can actually become in that affiliate flywheel. Now, guys, at scale, you should be able to hit 10 to 30K months before you do anything different. Remember how we talked about more, better, new? You don't got to do anything new to hit that 10 to 30K. Just follow this process and you should be able to hit that. And your action step, ramp up your ads and create an affiliate system for your community to be able to create a flywheel. Module 3 recap. You now know how to create a content engine that fuels your growth. You also know how to optimize ads and creatives to scale faster than you ever have before. You now know how to master sales calls that convert strangers into clients. You can host webinars that educate, convert, and retain. And you can scale profitably through systems, funding, and partnerships. Next up, accelerate. Let's turn momentum into mastery. Module 4, accelerate. Retention, revenue, and recurring systems. In this module, we'll focus on accelerating the growth of your community by focusing on retention, optimizing your revenue streams, and creating systems for consistent income. You're going to learn how to maintain a steady stream of engagement, reduce your churn, and set up systems that help you generate recurring revenue through smart strategies. By the end of this module, you'll have the tools to ensure your community thrives long-term while continuing to bring in predictable income. Module takeaways. In this module, you're going to learn about your first hire. This is the first person you're going to need to hire to really make sure that you hit the ground running and accelerate past that 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80K goal that you're looking to hit. I'm going to talk to you about how and who they are, what they need to do, and how they need to be operating inside of your business. Next, we're going to be talking about optimizing fulfillment to reduce churn. This is a super, super important thing. Most people don't talk about churn enough. The rate that, people actually leave your community is churn. So we're going to be talking about it and how you can make sure that you don't have a churn issue, because when you have a churn issue, it feels a lot like you're just a hamster on a hamster wheel, right? So we're going to make sure that you're actually growing and not plateauing simply because you didn't do simple things that can reduce your churn. Implement community engagement systems. Community engagement is one of the biggest issues I see community owners facing. You create this community, people get in there, but nobody's engaging. Nobody's even creating a post. It's a ghost town, right? And what I know about communities that aren't engaging is they die very quickly, right? You don't have people that upsell in a free community, and you have people that churn very highly in a paid community. So we're going to be talking about how you can make sure that community is engaging and it's popping and it's fun. Next, we're going to be talking about direct to paid strategies. Once you've been running ads for a while and posting consistent content, or if you already have a warm audience, then we can talk about how you can really go direct to paid. During this module, we've been talking a lot about our free to paid strategy, which is a great strategy that works for any and everybody, but sometimes we got to go direct to paid. So I'll talk to you guys about the simple strategies if you don't want to do a free community, or if you've built up an audience now and you've been doing your free community for a while, you might be a qualified candidate to use some of these strategies. Next, we're going to be talking about advanced webinars, challenges, and boot camps. Now, guys, this is one of the best strategies if done well. It served me very well. It served a lot of people in this space well. And if you have this community, you can definitely do a challenge or a boot camp. It's usually multiple days, and essentially it's just the more advanced version of a webinar. So if you're already good on webinars and you're doing good at selling one-to-many for one day, imagine being able to sell one-to-many for 3, 4, or 5 days and really pushing this event on a digital scale and getting the most amount of people you can as possible. I'll talk about the whole 9 and how you can make it happen. That way you can scale up your community. And last, accelerate. Usually after scaling, something's going to start breaking, which is why we're going to be talking about new systems that you can use to accelerate that growth to new heights, right? You'll get at a certain point where you will plateau and you'll have to add in some sort of new system to get new types of leads, reduce CPLs, and do the things that you need to do to increase conversions. So we'll talk about that as well. Lesson 4.1, your first hire. Guys, to scale, you need help. And your first hire should be a hybrid appointment setter and community manager. This is going to be somebody who lives in your DMs and in your community. And what is going to be their job? One, they're going to be able to book qualified calls for you by engaging with leads inside your community and on socials. Or if you're getting too many calls, but some of them aren't qualified, they're going to be the person who's acting as a buffer to triage some of these calls on your calendar, right? So they're going to make sure that only the tip of the top or the cream of the crop are hopping on a call with you. That way you're getting the maximum close rate. They're also going to be able to respond to members' posts, encourage wins, and even create engagement posts to lighten your load. All right, this is going to allow you to focus on higher leverage work while your engine keeps running. Key tip, use a clear SOP to define what messages they're responding to, how they qualify leads, and how they book calls. Give them templates to save time and stay on brand. This is really, really important. And to talk about this person, this is usually going to be offshore talent, but you can also find them on Upwork, or you can maybe make posts on your own social and to find somebody. A lot of times you can pay these people anywhere from $5 to $6 an hour, or you can give them a commission of the closes that they get that they actually set for you, okay? You can be a little bit, differentiated or have a custom, plan for them. But the key point is you're going to make sure that they are hitting their KPIs for you, and then you have a clear SOP to be able to train them. That way they can do a good job. Lesson 4.2, optimize fulfillment to reduce churn. Guys, churn is a silent killer in MRR businesses, right? Imagine, having an amazing month and then getting $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and then realizing the next month that 50% of your your subscribers left. That means you have a 50% churn. That business is not going to last long if you have a 50% churn, right? Most community owners don't even realize the biggest cause of churn isn't even cancellations a lot of times too. It's actually failed or declined credit cards. All right, so here's what you can do to make sure you combat churn. One, you can train your community manager to check for declined payments and to follow up with people inside of the community or in your CRM. You can also set up automations, usually email and SMS automations for failed payments to help your members update their info. You can send messages like, hey, we noticed that your card declined on file. Please go ahead and make sure that you update your payment so you can continue having access to XYZ, whatever the biggest goal is that they want in your community. And then 3, you can actually use a cancellation page with a video that attempts to save the sale. And I'll actually link a script to our cancellation video script below. Now, in school and other platforms as well, essentially when somebody attempts to cancel, you can actually have pop up a video of you speaking, saying, hey, notice that you're trying to cancel. Just want to remind you that, the goal of you joining this community was XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And we don't want you to give up before you even have a chance to go all the way in on it. Right? Whatever that your community is about, you essentially can create that script and they watch that. And sometimes that'll actually say for you, they're like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I joined this community to lose weight and I haven't been doing what I need to do. I joined this community to start this business and I haven't even gotten started. I joined this business to, get a better relationship with my wife. And I haven't been doing the things I need to do. So if you create that video in a way, it can actually save people. After someone cancels or declines, they don't get back to you, you can also offer a reactivation deal. So this is usually like a 50% off for 3 months, or maybe a free one-on-one strategy call with yourself. You can actually send this, onto a different payment link, create one on WAP, create one on a different platform and send that, be like, hey, we noticed that you cancel. We definitely want to have you back. Here is a link to actually get 3 months for free or 3 months for 50% off, whatever it is. Also, we want to figure out what is the reason that people are canceling. Is the price point too high? Or is it the community not engaged enough? Or is it not what they were expecting, right? To increase retention, a lot of times we have to maybe add more value to the community. Maybe it's just not good enough. Maybe you're charging really high, but like people aren't really getting what they thought they would get. So we got to actually add that value in there to save the business. To increase retention, you can actually add new tools and bonuses. I'm a big fan of pairing software with community. It makes the community a lot stickier. Some people may come for the community, some people may come for the software, right? If some person comes for the software and they really enjoy the community, even if they don't use the software anymore, they might stay because of the community. If someone comes for the community, but they see this software they really like, even if they're not engaging in the community, they might continue paying because they're using the software. They balance each other out and they work cohesively. Next thing, invite expert guests occasionally to keep things fresh. You want to do big things, right? So they feel like, oh, I don't want to miss out on that, right? Maybe, your community is growing and it's doing well, but every once in a while, boom, I just invited this special guest, or boom, I'm doing this. Boom, maybe give out some money, give away things, do like special things that they didn't see happening. And they're like, oh, I don't want to leave because I don't want to miss out on something that he's going to do. Next, create new mini courses and digital products. You always want to be adding new content inside your community. If someone joins your community and they watch all of your content and you don't add anything for months, they're going to leave. They're going to be like, I've already watched all this stuff. I mean, maybe they stay for your weekly calls and that sort of thing. But if they feel like they've learned everything they can learn, then why would they continue paying you money? Lesson for the week. If you're watching this and your churn rate is over 20%, figure out what is the reason why your churn is so high. Is it more declines? Is it more cancellations? And I want you to create that cancellation video for your cancellations. And I want you to also add in the anti-churn automations so you can win back some people as well. Lesson 4.3. Implement community engagement systems. A community is going to die without engagement. You need systems to create an engaged culture. Engagement is so important. As I mentioned beforehand, is one of the biggest issues that I see a lot of community owners facing is they have this community and nobody's even active or doing anything in there. First and foremost, you got to lead by example. When I see people ask that, I look into their community and I say, do you even post in your community consistently yourself? You have to be posting. You have to be posting wins. You have to be asking engaged questions. And what I mean by that is you don't want to just, ask like value-based questions or questions about your niche. Maybe just ask some fun stuff. What's their favorite book? Hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? Hey, maybe share unpopular opinions. If there's something trendy going online or something like that, that's a little bit of a meme or goof thing, you might ask that. What's y'all's take on that? That helps spark engaging conversations. Next thing you want to do is you want to set the standard. Create a pinned post with posting expectations, right? On your welcome video, you need to be talking about, how to make posts. When you're hopping on calls with people, you need to be talking about how to make posts. Next, you want to be talking about win sharing. Always redirect wins from DMs or calls to public posts. If somebody shares with you in a direct message like, hey, want to let you know I got 5K, be like, oh, awesome, man, that's just great, congrats. Hey, can you do me a favor? Go ahead and post this in the community so everybody can, support you and show you love for that. If somebody's on a call with you on a group call and they share a win, they're like, hey, I lost some weight, or hey, I was able to do this, whatever it is that they're doing, you're gonna be like, hey, awesome. Go ahead and drop that in the community. You always want to direct people in the community. That way it sparks more conversations. Next is a bonus strategy. I like to run themed challenges in the community. Example, it could be a 5-day streak or 30-day streak. Ask people to post proof daily. Let's say you're doing a nutrition community or people are going on diets. People need to maybe take a picture of their food every day and post it in the community. Maybe they're, working out. Take a picture of them working out. And you can offer small prizes like merch, shout outs, or one-on-one calls with yourself as well. Homework for the week. Install one of these engagement strategies into your community ASAP. I promise you, the better engaged your community is, not only will you make more money, but you'll have more fun in the community yourself. Lesson 4.4, direct to paid strategies. Now you've been running ads, posting consistently, and you have a warm, engaged audience. Now it's time to go direct to paid. So here's one of the strategies, DM ads. So what you're gonna do is gonna run ads targeting high intent buyers. You're gonna use ManyChat to collect their email and collect their phone number and send them directly to your paid community, right? You're also going to have a setter that follow-ups with them daily, maybe communicates with them, maybe talks with them directly so it's not a prompt, and then closes the deal. You're going to be closing them simply on your low ticket offer, sometimes on your mid ticket, and close them directly in your direct messages. Next, you want to heighten the offer. You want to offer a one-on-one call with new buyers. Maybe you add a little bit of scarcity. Maybe you let them know like, hey, if you hop in right now, I can do this, X, Y, Z. That way they want to join. And here's the second strategy that I'll talk about, and that's the bridge sale funnel. Now, essentially what this is, you're essentially running a webinar funnel, and you're going to send traffic to a webinar registration page where people will sign up for a live training with you. On the thank you page, you're going to actually offer instant access to your community through a bridge sale. So essentially, you're going to have a video, a mini VSL of you explaining and you congratulating people for signing up for your webinar. And then you're also going to say, hey, since you're on here, I'm going to give you first dibs of actually joining my community. And you're going to explain the value stack and what includes in your community. And then you're going to have essentially a page where they can actually check out and subscribe to your community directly on that page. You'll also add a CTA button, essentially if they don't want to pay, where they says, something like, I'm passing on this offer and I understand it might not come back. Or like, no, I'm not ready right now, but thank you for the opportunity. It just might not be the best fit for me. And then when they click that button, it's going to go to a downsell page. Now on the downsell page, you can say, hey, last chance. I'm also going to offer you a 7-day free trial for the community. Don't want you to miss out on this opportunity, blah, 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 blah. Or you maybe can also offer them a $1 7-day trial. And these funnels actually warm people up and convert them really fast. So the cool thing is too, they'll also sign up for your webinar. And then on your webinar, you're going to pitch your mid-ticket offer, but you'll also downsell your low ticket again and give them a chance. Now, with that webinar registration funnel, you also want a webhook on the registration. So everybody who opts in, you can send them to your free community as well. Okay, so they also get nurtured into your free community where they get pushed to book a call, they get pushed to do all these things as well. Lesson 4.5, advanced webinars, challenges, and boot camps. Now, you want to make really big revenue fast. You want to host a boot camp or multi-day webinar. Now, here's how you're going to structure it. You're going to do 3 to 5 days of training on one topic, right? How to build, like, for example, how to build a 10K a month community would be mine. You're going to deliver value daily. Now, do not hold back. I would actually bring on a bunch of special guests. You should have a special guest every single day. And then day 4 or day 5, usually the last day of your boot camp or the day before the last day plus the last day of your boot camp, you're going to pitch your high ticket offer, but you're going to let them apply with a deposit. So let's say you have a 5K offer. You're essentially going to let them get started for $1,000. But that $1,000 is going to be your mid-ticket offer. Okay. Now, on the last day, you're also going to bring in a bunch of clients and a bunch of previous members to give you testimonials and essentially do a group interview of what they've been able to do. Now, if you have a big paid community, huge paid community, then you can keep your boot camp only for your paid community. But if you have a large free community and your paid community is just getting started, then you might open up this boot camp for everybody and make it a free boot camp. Okay. Now, there's benefits of both. You can do a paid challenge or paid boot camp for your paid community and essentially sell the challenge and be like, hey, we're doing a 5-day boot camp. Don't miss it. All you got to do is join our VIP community to get access to it. And you will get a lot more sales in there. Right. But what I've noticed too, for some people, if you open it up for everybody and you're free, you just get more people in general. And that just brings in a different type of excitement and energy. Now, when you do this boot camp, you always want to follow up with replay emails. You want to give them trial offers in exchange for testimonials. You want to have your setter following up, and you want to have post-event community hype. These events can usually spike even more revenue, build trust, and create a viral word of mouth. Lastly, with a boot camp or challenge, I wouldn't do more than one every quarter, right? It's a lot of work to actually put together that long event, and it takes a lot of energy and time and effort, right? Also, you don't want to milk out your audience, because when you're doing that challenge, you have to do a lot of email marketing, a lot of text marketing, and then maybe even some ads directly to it. But if you do it the right way, it can be insane. It can give you a lot of revenue. Lesson 4.6, accelerate. Here's the truth. When you scale fast, or when you scale at all, something's gonna break. Your ad CPL might spike through the roof, your setter might burn out, or your fulfillment might lag, but that's okay, all right? So accelerating, guys, is about taking things to that next level. You've already launched, you've already scaled, and now it's time to accelerate. Usually when people scale and we help people scale, they might get stuck around, 10 to 30 to 40K, right? But when you're accelerating, it's about adding in something new, right? It might be that webinar. It might be, figuring out a bottleneck like your churn. It might be, getting more calls on the calendar. It might be, whatever. But figuring out something new to add, it could even be having a new offer, right? Maybe you need a high ticket offer, like a really high ticket offer, like a 20, 25K offer, right? That some people might need. But when you add that in, it's your turn to actually perfect that new system, right? It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's going to help you to get over to that 6-figure a month hump, is when you have some new system as well to be able to scale. And here's a recap. You've now reached the growth phase. This is where businesses go from part-time hustle to full-blown brand. And here's your playbook. You're going to hire the right person, right? Do some hiring and find somebody who's good. You're going to optimize systems to keep members longer. You're going to drive real engagement. You're going to introduce direct to paid funnels. You're going to launch powerful events. And always, you're going to innovate when your old systems plateau. With this accelerating, you should be able to hit 50 to 100K plus months. And that's not a dream. That's just what happens when you accelerate with intention. You got this. Let's go to module 5, automate. Module 5, automate. Team, time freedom, and long-term scale. This module is focused on helping you build a team, streamlining your processes, and scaling your community efficiently, all while freeing up your time. We'll dive into the importance of hiring the right team members, creating self-sustaining workflows, and using your community's revenue to reinvest in the business. You'll also learn how to utilize the 4 C's of leverage to strategically position your community for long-term growth and profitability, ensuring you have the time freedom to focus on scaling the business. In this module, you will learn the 4 C's of leverage. In order to automate your community, it's important to understand what leverage really is. So we're going to talk about how you can get that and what you need to do in order to take your community from being inside of the business to working on the business. First, we're going to talk about content, but not just in the sense of social media content. We're going to be talking about how to create content that's going to directly impact your team, your business, and your community, and how you can utilize that and leverage that in order to create one thing one time that's going to give you a huge impact in the long term. Next, we're going to be talking about capital, the importance of actually maximizing profit and not just revenue. So many people in today's age, especially a lot of new entrepreneurs and business owners, get caught up in, wow, I made X amount of revenue, or wow, I'm just trying to get X amount of revenue, but they don't truly think about the profit of that. It doesn't make sense to make 100K if you're spending 120K a month. You're actually losing more money than if you just got a regular 9 to 5 job. We're also going to talk about the importance of utilizing OPM, which stands for other people's money, when trying to scale your business. And then we're going to be talking about code, how you can actually develop software or white label certain systems and software to actually take your business to that next level, and how you can utilize code for automations, for onboarding, for fulfillment, for everything, so you can actually have a higher leverage business and not work in the business and not even have to delegate it because you have these automations and tools that are doing it for you. And finally, we're going to talk about community, not community like the entire course that I just talked to you guys about, but what that truly means to actually scale that, right? What does it mean to build a community? What does it mean to scale that community for years to come and to actually make something that's going to pay you not just for the short term, but for the long, long term? 5.1, the 4 C's of leverage. Leverage means getting more output for the same amount of input or less. It's how you scale a community-driven business without burning out. So many times I see entrepreneurs and they're working 80, 100 plus hours a week, and they're making the same amount of money, or sometimes even less, than their peers who work 9 to 5 or corporate jobs. What we need to be doing is we need to make sure that we're doing things efficiently. That way we can scale and get closer to our goals and our dreams. And there are 4 key levers we use within the 4 C's of leverage. First one's going to be content. Next one's going to be capital. Third is going to be code. And fourth is going to be community. Let's break each down and talk about how it affects you and your business. 5.2, content, your most scalable asset. Content isn't just videos you post on social media. It's every piece of information you create that can be reused, repurposed, or sold. Here are the 3 forms of content leverage. One is going to be social media content. This drives visibility, brings in leads, and builds your brand. I have community partners that have millions of followers, and they make an aggressive amount of money just on their content alone or on brand deals. Also, you're able to nurture your audience with short form content and warm audience. So you don't even have to do the free to paid funnel anymore if you have such a highly warmed up audience because they've been watching your content. The second is digital products. This is ebooks, courses, templates, playbooks that your members or anybody can buy or access inside of your community. Okay, this is huge. So the reason why I'm doing this course right now is a digital product. Guys, you have to start creating these things because you can actually sell your information, you can sell your value on a huge and large scale. It's something that you make one time that you can sell infinitely. Imagine, spending a few hours, spending a day creating a course that makes you $100,000. What is the return on time of that? Guys, that is high leverage. That is how you get to that next goal that you're looking to do, is by creating these things. So if you're not creating digital products, you need to start. And if you have some, you need to create more. There's never enough digital products that you can create. Give away really high quality value for free and then sell even more for a price. And 3 is going to be internal content. This is like SOPs, standard operating procedures. This is so important. So many people can't scale their team because they have to start and they have to train everybody from scratch. At a certain point, you don't need to be hopping on calls with every new person on your team and training them one by one, having one-on-one calls, making sure they know what to do, reinventing the wheel. If you have an SOP, you already have the script for your setter and your closer. You already have an SOP for your virtual assistant. You already have an SOP for your community manager. You already have chat GPT prompts to do certain things. You already have workflows for certain things. You already have agreements. This is going to help you to be able to train your team once and never again. You create this SOP one time and never again. This allows you to actually scale, because whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, sometimes team members are going to leave and you're going to have to hire new ones. Every time you hire a new team member, you shouldn't have to train them from scratch and develop all these processes from scratch, right? So you want to create these SOPs and these templates now. On top of this, this is also going to be onboarding docs. things that help you to onboard, maybe your new partners, your high ticket clients. This can also be a RACI chart, which stands for responsible, accountable, consultant, and informed. And this is a chart when you're building a large team where you know where each and every person lies and who's responsible for what. This helps for people to not get confused and for you to not to have scope creep and to waste money and time on team members that you don't need or aren't doing anything. This also helps you to be more profitable in the future. The more you build these assets, the more your business is going to run without you. Your job becomes creating something one time and letting the systems, content, and team handle all the rest. Here's an action step. Create or delegate the creation of at least one digital product and one internal SOP this week. 5.3, capital. Use revenue to buy back time. Revenue is fuel, but profit is the vehicle. Guys, I had a mentor of mine say like 90% of problems in your business can be solved by just having more money. I know that sounds crazy and it sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't have that because they focus on revenue and not profit. A lot of people don't have that because they don't have OPM and they don't have business funding. So many creators get obsessed with top line numbers, but what really matters, guys, at the end of the day is margin. So what you need to do is you need to track your P&L. This is your profit and loss. You need to figure out what tools, roles, or expenses aren't providing an ROI. Where can you reinvest profit for more leverage, right? A lot of times it's going to be in ads, it's going to be in content. You can reinvest capital into the other C's of leverage as well to be able to get them done. You can use capital to hire better team members like setters, closers, community managers. You can bring on VAs to handle fulfillment. You can delegate content creation. You can buy back your time so you can focus on what really matters most, which is usually your vision, strategy, growth, and content. Those are the things you need to be focused on as a community owner and an entrepreneur right now. 5.4, code. Automate everything that can be automated. At the end of the day, that's rule number one. If it happens more than once, it should be automated. Automation rules the nation. Guys, we got to start doing this ASAP. If you're doing things manually that could be automated, you are moving in slow motion. You are like a caveman or something like that. Really, you need to be actually utilizing this stuff, right? So when I talk about code, I'm talking about automations, I'm talking about AI, I'm talking about software. So this means sales automations, email, SMS, and DM sequences that we did earlier. This means onboarding automations, granting access, sending out contracts and agreements, and sending welcome emails and starting workflows. These are fulfillment automations, Zapier, Go High Level, ManyChat, Stripe integrations, all these things that can be, automated through the business. You got to do that. This is talking about software, guys. Invest into actually building your own software. I would always invest into building a software. If you have a good idea, you can hire really good people on Upwork. You can maybe buy a software that's already halfway, running and scale it up, or you can even utilize and get a white label software. But we've scaled internal software brands to 6 figures a month, utilizing a lot of these same strategies that I talked about in this course. Right? So pairing your software with a community is super high leverage. And if you can even have a software that you don't pair and you can sell it on the side, but it's just like a byproduct of whatever you're doing, then that's super leverage as well. So we talk about MRR and the community aspect of things, but you also have MRR and software, which is a very, very high leverage play. Now, within the code aspect of things, your community needs to be paired with a CRM, which we recommend obviously our CRM, Community Launch CRM, which you guys have access to, or Go High Level. You also want to use a simple sales funnel that's really important with automations and tweaks for emails and SMS. And then you want to have AI-powered ads tools to run traffic, whether it's to School, WAP, Stripe, or whatever. You want to use the tools to work for you at the end of the day. And 5.5, the last C of leverage, guys, and our final thing is going to be community, the long-term flywheel. This one's big, right? You started with a creator-led community. You were the engine, but as you grow, it becomes to be community-led. So let me preface with that, guys. So at the start, you're going to be pushing and you're going to be marketing your community. You're going to be on one-on-one calls for your community. You're going to be doing the webinars for your community. You're going to be very, 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 very involved because that's what you need to do to get it off the ground. But as the community grows, it's not led by the creator. It's not creator-led anymore. It's community-led, right? Now, what does that mean? That means scalability. That means freedom. That means your members create the posts, they share wins, they invite others into the community. You're going to identify champions. These are like super engaged members in your community that you can identify champions. You can even promote some members of your community and give them bonuses. They can lead calls. You can possibly hire them. You can also treat your internal team like a community, right? I'm a big component of this. I treat my internal team like a community. Because if you treat your team like a community, then not only will they stick around longer, but they'll grow, they'll nurture, they'll start same things that we're talking about right now. They'll start inviting people to work with you. They'll start, answering questions. They'll start being those champions for your business, right? So if you've got 5 to 10 plus people, I wouldn't schedule an in-person meetup with your team, with your business, even with VAs, and it builds insane long-term morale, right? And the next thing is, if you have a community and you want to grow it, an online community, you also need to have an in-person event as well. So I would run an annual summit. I would host, maybe quarterly or regional meetups if you can, and turn your online community into a real world movement. I'm telling you guys, we live in a digital age, and it's so amazing to be in a digital age like we are right now. You can connect with people internationally, you can connect with people on the other side of the world, but when you come together in an event section, that's when real community starts to grow and last, and really you build like lifelong partnerships and lifelong relationships. Lastly, guys, you want to think long term. The goal of building a community is not to get a quick buck, it's to build something that's going to last for years and years and years to come, and for something that you can really help people and you can make a positive impact. So you want to build evergreen products and membership paths. You want to use testimonials and member generated content in your ads, and you want to create a brand that's bigger than you. That's the point of creating a community, right? Again, it's not creator led, it's community led. So now people are going to know the community more than they even know you are. Final thoughts, automation is not about replacing you, it's about freeing you. So you can lead, grow, and build a business that runs without breaking you. You now have the tools, you now have the strategy. You're not just building a business, you're building a legacy. Let's go automate it. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys get a lot of value out of this course. If you got some value, then drop in our community that you finished it. We love to see you, love to support you, love to encourage you as well. Let's go crazy. Thank you guys.